Open your bank statement and scroll to the AI line items, not the big one. The small ones, $20 for a notebook you chat with, $17 for a recorder that sits on someone else's server, $12 for a grammar checker living in every text box you own, $22 for a voice that is not yours but costs like it is, $29 for a chatbot platform that charges you again every time your contact list grows, $20 for a chat window into a model you could be routing yourself, another $20 for a second chat window into a different model, $10 for a reading list that Pocket used to hold for free before Mozilla shut it down in July 2025 and deleted the archive. None of it is enormous on its own. Together, it is over $150 a month, $1,800 a year, handed to platforms that own your data, cap your usage, and raise prices the moment you depend on them. Almost every single one of those tools has a free twin sitting on GitHub right now, not some abandoned knockoff. Software with tens of thousands of stars that real teams are running in production today. Here's the whole move. You take the expensive logo, say ElevenLabs or Otter or Grammarly, and you swap in a free one that does the exact same job. Same features, same polish, and the price tag falls to $0. I found 9 of them. 9 open source projects so good they honestly should not be free, and 9 paid tools they quietly put out of a job. These are not weekend toys. Together, these 9 repositories carry nearly 400,000 stars, hundreds of contributors, and years of commits. Every one of those stars is a developer raising a hand to say this one is the real deal. So what is the catch? You host it yourself. One command in a terminal, a small server somewhere, and the thing that used to bill you monthly is just sitting there, running yours. Instead of renting software forever, you set it up once and you own it. The paid tool keeps charging every month. Your copy just keeps working. I am going to show you every single one, starting at number 9 and working up to the one that kills the most expensive habit on the list. Start with the reading list, because that problem is fresh. Pocket died July 8th, 2025. Mozilla deleted the archive months later and left 20 million people looking for somewhere to put their tabs. Readwise Reader stepped into the gap at $10 a month, which I mean is a decent product until I find an open source alternative to it. Carekeep does the same job on a server you own. It has 24,800 stars, originally called Hoarder until the name tested poorly, and they changed it in 2025. Whenever you bookmark a link, it automatically fetches the title, description, and a full archived copy of the page automatically, so the link rot problem is gone before you notice it. Everything gets OCR'd, indexed in Mailasearch, and tagged by a local LLM running through Llama. No API key, no cloud call. Browser extensions for Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, iOS and Android apps. RSS feeds that pull content to you automatically. The name comes from the Arabic word for a drawer full of things you cannot throw away because somehow they still matter. That drawer is now on your server, and nobody is billing you for the shelf space, which gets to the next problem, because a reading list only captures what you find yourself. The thing you actually needed was said out loud in a meeting last Tuesday, and then it was gone. That is what Otter and Fireflies sell back to you at $17 and $18 a month, the memory of a conversation. And the price of that memory is where the recording lives. Their servers, their terms, their engineers with access to your client calls and your legal discussions and your medical notes. Steno records on your own machine instead. MIT licensed, Windows and Mac OS, live transcription through Carekeep or Whisper running faster than real-time on Apple Silicon. Speaker labels come through on screen as the meeting happens, you versus others, live. Auto detection notices when a call starts and offers to record, notices when it ends and offers to summarize. When it is done, you get a full transcript you can actually chat with, not a summary you have to trust. Nothing leaves the machine. For anything sensitive, that is not a feature. That is the whole point. And the reason Steno can promise that is worth naming separately, because it runs on whisper.cpp underneath, and whisper.cpp is the project doing the actual work, 52,700 stars. A C++ port of OpenAI's Whisper by the same team behind Llama CPP. Single binary, no Python, runs on CPU, CUDA, Metal, ROCm. Faster than real-time on hardware that would struggle with the Python original. Steno runs on it. Audio.cpp runs on the same GGML library underneath. You will be surprised to know that half the self-hosted audio tools on GitHub exist because whisper.cpp solved the portability problem first. You are not switching to it directly, but you are using it every time you run anything on this list that transcribes audio without phoning home. Speaking of audio, ElevenLabs is $22 a month for a voice that lives on their infrastructure and scales the bill the moment you push volume or want faster turnaround. AudioCP is the thing that ends that. 6 weeks old, 1 C++ inference engine on GGML, 44 families of audio model behind a single binary. It includes text-to-speech, speech-to-text, voice cloning, voice conversion, speaker diarization, music generation, source separation, all of it. One binary, a Gradio WebUI on top. Its own release notes put the TTS paths at 1.8 to 8 times faster than the Python references. VRAM down 45 to 85% at Q8. The honest caveat is right there in the same release notes. GGUF support is model by model, not a universal adapter. It currently has 2,000 stars because it shipped in June. ElevenLabs is $22 a month, and this thing did not exist in May. While audio is off the card, there is still the grammar checker sitting quietly at $12, below the threshold where anyone rereads a statement. Grammarly has been in every text box you own for so long, it stopped feeling like a subscription and started feeling like a feature of the internet. And honestly, it is not. Everything you write goes to their servers. Harper is what replaces it. Written in Rust by Automatic, the WordPress company, with over 13,800 stars, it lints a document in milliseconds on under a 50th of Language Tool's memory. Language server in VS Code, NeoVim, Helix, Emacs, Z. WebAssembly in the browser. The suggestions are instant because there is no network round trip. Your drafts stay on your machine because there is nowhere else for them to go. And I want to be upfront that it currently only supports English, $12 gone, and the reflex you built around Grammarly transfers directly. The same kind of reflex is what keeps NotebookLM on the card. Google charges $20 for it inside the AI Pro tier, and the feature that sold the subscription is the podcast. 2 hosts, your documents, a generated conversation you can actually listen to. Open Notebook does that on a server you control. 31,000 stars, MIT licensed, you can literally set it up in Docker under 2 minutes. PDFs, YouTube links, audio, web pages, Office documents, all of it becomes a corpus you chat with. It supports over 18 model providers like OpenAI, Anthropic, Llama, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever you already have running. And the podcast works, except you get 1 to 4 speakers instead of being locked into 2 hosts and 1 format. Google gives you Google. Open Notebook gives you the choice, $20 off. The next one is not a single subscription. It is a philosophy. ManyChat bills $29 a month at entry and then meters you by contacts because the contact wall is the product. Hit the ceiling and automations stop responding until the next billing cycle or you upgrade. ChatbotX is what sits in that shadow. MIT licensed, omnichannel out of the box. Works perfectly with WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, Zalo, TikTok, web chat. It has features like Visual Flow Builder, Live Chat Inbox, CRM, broadcasts, sequences, MCP-compatible agent workflows, and most importantly, OpenAI and DeepSeek support built in. The same automations run on hardware where the contact counter does not exist. The honest part is that this one takes a Saturday afternoon to set up properly, so keep this in mind. You are trading $29 a month for a setup day. That is a real trade and a fair one, but do not pretend it is a toggle. The last 2 are connected because they are both solving the same problem from slightly different angles. You are paying $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus and $20 a month for Claude Pro, and they live in 2 separate browser tabs with 2 separate conversation histories and no way to put them next to each other. LibreChat solves that first. 37,000 stars, 35 million Docker pulls, MIT licensed, the longest running open source AI chat interface after ChatGPT launched. 1 deployment, every provider at once. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Grok, Mistral, Llama for local models. It works just like other interfaces supporting conversation search, code interpreter, image generation, MCP support, AI agents, multi-user auth with role-based access controls. You pay for the tokens you use. For most people, that lands well under $40 a month. 2 subscriptions become 1 API bill. And Open WebUI is where that logic goes furthest. 139,000 stars, 290 million Docker pulls, 1 Docker container. Drop in your OpenAI key, your Anthropic key, a Gemini key, connect Llama for local models, and they all live in the same workspace. RAG across 9 vector databases. Python function calling with a code editor in the browser. Image generation, voice input, web search, pipelines, RBASC, SSO for Teams. Everything the paid chat interfaces offer on your infrastructure, with your models, paying only for the tokens you consume. ChatGPT Plus was never really selling you GPT-4. It was selling you the interface around it. Open WebUI is the interface. The models are still there. The monthly subscription is not. Now the honest part. Free is not actually free. It moves the cost from dollars to time. Someone has to run the server, push the updates, take the backups, and fix the thing at midnight when it breaks. That is a real job, and a subscription buys you the right to never think about it. A few of these licenses have real teeth too, like Carekeep is AGPL, which means if you build a product on top of it, you have to open source what you built. Read that before you bet a business on it. And self-hosting means you own the security. No vendor patches things for you, and no support line picks up at 2 a.m. When should you just pay? If you have no server, no patience for terminals, and zero interest in maintenance, pay. Most of these projects sell an official hosted version so you can pay the people who actually built it instead of a middleman. The point was never that paid is bad. It is that for the first time you have a genuine choice. But add it up. 9 tools, $150 a month, nearly 400,000 stars between them. Built by people who wanted the software to exist and put it in a public repository for anyone to clone. The strange truth of software in 2026 is that some of the best tools in the world are not for sale. They are sitting on GitHub right now, one command away from being yours. If this saved you a subscription, subscribe back. See you in the next one.